Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Pxy-VERSE. We are back here. This is a slightly different episode. No, just a continuation, but now no more model sheet drawings on Blender or whatever. I've already solved it. What? My Blender is here. Okay, so these model sheets were already highly detailed, executed, and now comes for a somewhat slightly daunting task that I don't do that very often, so I'm usually very wary about this thing, but I have done this more or less on different occasions. I wish I had more experience doing that, but no. So for me, I find it out it's rescaling. So I'll have to rescale and apply the objects, the scale for objects, not usually their locations nor rotations. I think maybe locations because depending on what I'll do, but usually for maybe locations because maybe they'll be changing heights because of the scale, the center, the origins, and maybe I would like to have some change, but in principle, so it's a bit strange what should be done here. I'm not totally aware. By the way, I'm listening to some soundtrack here, but because of copyright, I'm not sure I can. You can listen it on your own, but I'm using a headphone, and it's not. Probably you cannot hear it. So I also have locked the sound from the hardware, so you probably cannot listen that also digitally. So, but I'm listening to that soundtrack. So Mass Effect, classic game, role-playing, sci-fi-ish game. Very, I especially played the first one. The story is really good. Well, good if we consider story games. Game stories, it's not so easy to find good stories usually. Not that the story sucks in games in general, but very often they are not as complex as in movies or whatever. You got the idea, or literature. Yeah, so games, but there are great game stories, but it's not something so easy to find. I would recommend the storyline of the adventure of Mass Effect. Maybe just as I did, I've rewatched a playthrough, let's play video, and yeah, that's a long thing. Maybe not for anyone to do that, but yeah, so we can follow the decisions of the player, even if we feel like there's some immersion in that. So. Alright folks, so here I've already did that rescaling. Probably that was partially responsible for some disruptions on the armature. And so there are two steps here actually. Yeah, so one is the rescaling of all the objects somewhat simultaneously. Yeah, not except for the environmental objects. I need the environment because of the lighting. Unless I can use this, will be faster. I hope that will be enough for precision. Here, unfortunately, with the materials, the grease pencil depends on the lighting. I can probably use this. So I have a lot of objects here, mesh objects. I just have one armature object. Let's make it selectable. And right now we do not see it because this sometimes can be strange, but yeah, there's no bone here because I need to make them, right, at least one bone layer enable. And of course I don't need all that. I just need a single bone to scale the armature, to see the armature, right folks? So yeah, I could use this layer, just the control. Isn't there an armature Well, there, this bone is on, this is the origin of the armature, I guess, and it's in the world center. So let's first put this in the world center. So why the character is not in the world center with her feet? Well, because I wasn't sure about the height she would have, and I've mapped all the model sheet and whatever, the mesh, thanks to these, you see the grid reference here. Though here it was changed, let's see. Yeah, it was changed, somewhat confusing because I needed to find, you see these squares are not, how to explain, yeah, because I have changed here to, so it was, this was the original one, so just by default one. If I hide everything, might be easier to find, to look at. Where are the, well, you see that those big squares, they are matching here, right? So that circle that from which I started building down towards the feet. And if I, but I needed more subdivisions here to be able to see them from a certain distance. That's why I had to make this change, actually. And of course the problem is that this sort of displace what would be the main square, so I have to get into some abstraction here, but we can still see the squares. It's just that now the first square is displaced here and a big square, right? So this is not where it is. Oh, yeah, it goes here. So this is very, very unoptimal. So ideally, what I would like to have as a grid is a grid that starts in the middle and that doesn't split like one square to this side and the other to right, but that from the center, like it starts going down exactly like that with tons of colored subdivisions, right? So that I wouldn't have to draw them like I did here. So unfortunately, I don't think Blender has this kind of feature. A good thing to check. I think I could have checked that before. It didn't occur to me, but if that existed, it should be perhaps here. No, not viewport, but subdivision. Now this is not grid stuff. Themes, 3D viewport, grid. Why there's two colors? Of course, this is bad time for, yeah, there's just one color here, so clipping border, wire, there's just one grid thing, so I don't think there are more options for that I'm demanding. That's why other software would be better to automate all this sort of stuff. So here I had this to make this very manual, and even so it wasn't good enough and whatever. So okay, so I have selected this. The armature is just one armature, is locked, and apparently I cannot rescale. Yeah, it wouldn't be wise to rescale this locked, so I'm gonna unlock here. So everything is unlocked, it's okay. I'm gonna save here in a new file because things can be broken. I don't know, I'm not sure. Many things bad can happen, so I'm gonna get it number 2 here. So I do it slowly. We need this box here. Maybe I could use transforms. No? Object. Transforms, yeah, maybe I could use this, so I could, okay, but I probably would like to use these, the properties editor for something else. So another option, maybe I could open another split, and yeah, but we have this, I have this, so this, usually this is what I rarely, seldom use this one, but since here we need some space to visualize, let's play this. I cannot put the chat here. I need the outliner right now, so that will stay here. I hope I'll be able to visualize stuff from this. So let's go. So all the meshes are there. So that's simple. This is org. I can hide it anytime, but here is original stuff. So grease pencil. I need to be able to access this. Currently, I should not be scaling or nor selecting the grease pencil. Yeah, it shouldn't be scalable. Why this thing? Custom shapes, the widgets, no, this is not necessary. So just this is just some not relevant. So this is just okay. So I need to be able to look at this, at least not selecting the viewport. So I don't want to scale this. This is the least thing that is forbidden, because this has the exact location and the proportions that I need. Of course, if I, yeah, so here I have a struggle, because if I could match this with the world origin, the feet of the character, but then this is not necessary, right? This, she's floating, that's fine. The important thing anyways is that if I displace the grease pencil, even if along after the mesh and the armature is matching perfectly, even if I displace all that, I'll probably lose the original settings that I've made perfectly. What I mean perfectly is that I've just matched them as precise as possible with some rough drawing, grease pencil, and so I don't want to ruin that just to try to compensate this grid thing. So I don't want to change that, so she'll keep floating like that. I just will have to rearrange the origin to something else, I guess. And still, but at least this time I have good proportion. That means that there is a point in the grid. Yes, there is a point in the grid which I know which is, and is that I can, so it's half that square here in terms of height. It's this line here, and for some reason, oh no, so sorry folks, what I was looking at the model. It's here, of course. The grease pencil is right, the mesh is wrong. So even simpler, it's this square here. So it's a square that exists, and the origin is actually added for some reason that I'm not sure why. Maybe it was a previous positioning for the feet. Alright, so we're going slowly to investigate everything. So no changing of the positioning in world space of the grease pencil object, but we're gonna displace the armature. Of course, I'm gonna rescale the armature. Of course, the armature is rescaling everything. Does that mean that alright, so I wasn't thinking about this, but of course, because all the objects are parented to the, or should be parented to the armature, if I just rescale the armature and apply it, that should be enough. Of course, as I rescale proportionally, so in all directions, I'll have to displace it anyway, so it's free to move, except rotations I won't, right? I won't, yeah, probably I won't rotate, so at least let's get, this shouldn't affect. And then from this I can, so I'm not gonna do this now because I want to make a quick test here. Yes, I need to see if everything is truly parented to that object, and for this, let's see. So I can see one by one, or yeah, which is the best way. There are many ways to check that. So what I'm gonna do is yeah, I'll need to first make sure that all objects here don't get are free. Okay, these are also all free to rescale and relocate. So cloth is done here. I can also, yeah, this is changing, so I can do here, alright, with the keyboard, that's fine. Eyes, let's get, oh, this is another structure, so this is incomplete for a sonic universal sonic mouth rig method or an adaptation of it. So okay, it's an object that it will be nice if I could rescale it along, but probably I have to redo this stuff. But let's keep it right now because there are some settings there that I'll need to revise later. Here, eyes lattice, what is this? Oh, this is a last method for the eyes. Or no, actually this is these are still all old thing, I guess. Yeah, I'll rescale this even though I'm not gonna use. What is this? Yes, this is all for an old eyes rig system. Yeah, I'm gonna change all those things later, except for the eyebrows. So never mind that, but just check if that is free. Yes, those are all free to move. Then body just have the body. There's no child objects of objects in principle. Oh, maybe there is one for the belt. Not sure. Or it was in the other clothes. No, it's here. So yeah, no problem. Belt accessory. It's a piece that. Alright, so all these objects indeed are free to be rescaled and if necessary moved. So that means that I can move that. So what I must be certain now, what I want to see if that if I need to reapply their scales or what happens. So for example, let's say the body, which is the main thing, so it's simpler. Okay, I can rescale it individually, but it's not what I want. I want to rescale this that will rescale everything else. Of course, I've checked that, but I didn't check if those things were parented, right? But probably they are. Otherwise, something would not be moving, and there is indeed something that is not moving there, which is I think it's just a lattice object that I think I'm not even. Okay, this is for some object in the middle and it's not parented to anything, so let's see, its relation, I maybe didn't have to be related to anything, I don't know, so maybe I just forgot. So I'm going to, just in case, parent this to armature like that. And so if I rescale now, yes, because this system I'm not gonna use, so I'm just, alright, so I've made this parenting. So now, yes, the test that I wanted to make. So let's pick the body. The scale of the body is, oh, it has a wrong scale. I cannot reset, but I can apply. Yes, so something about the scale of the, okay, so what if I scale up? The scale doesn't change here, right? Scale up. Okay, but then I apply here, apply the scale. The body also gets apply scale or reset. I don't know if I should reset or apply scale. Let's see. No, it's not good. So what about clear scale? Also not. So Alright, so I start with this. So this is, the body is not a good example. Everything has got some, maybe I didn't apply the scale for everything. Alright, so maybe that's the reason. Apply scale for everything. That seems to be accurate. Alright, so let's save again, because this was probably a mistake from previous change. So this is why this thing is, for me, is okay. So this doesn't change, but this has changed. What if I apply now? I see. As soon as I apply the scale of just this, it breaks everything. So, and if I select everything, alright, so you see where the problem lies. So apparently I cannot. What is the solution for that? Okay, I could work inside the armature and scale, but there are too many objects. In principle, it should be done by objects, right? So if I scale everything simultaneously, the problem is that the armature wouldn't be the armature double scaling everything. This is probably dangerous. That's probably what. Okay, so let's scale at twice. No, scale 1.5. Yeah, which is a lot. And what do I do with that if I wanted to apply and all those objects have remained their same scale? Then here, okay, if I reset scale, everything returns back to normal. I cannot reset scales here because it's already reset. I cannot apply those scales because that doesn't mean anything. And if I apply this scale, everything goes wrong. So there is no solution to that. If I wanted to okay, let's try now. Okay, let's put the cursor here just as a reference. Then let's reset these scales here. I'll pick all objects and scale up to scale to 1.5. Aha! So apparently the point that I've marked, they maintain the same. That means that if I applied scale now for all objects, yeah, things still get disrupted. Maybe this could be happening because some objects don't have the same origin. When I just applied this scale, yes, things still. Okay, let's rescale that. It looks like the objects themselves are not scaling with the armature. It's still just the armature which is scaling, which is strange, because I can scale this individually. It just allow one scaling object per time. Okay, so let's select everything, unselect the armature, scale at 1.5, then of course the armature, now all the objects have this, but except for the armature, of course this is a big problem. strangely, I don't remind having suffered from that before. So yes, also because I haven't applied the so alright, so I'll try to ignore this. Maybe I don't need to take care about the armature right now. Its scaling factor, because maybe this can be solved later in some way. There would also always be the possibility to disconnect the armature from the body, from everything, right? And then reparent with no problems caused to the wave painting. So here it's, of course, it doesn't look like I can find the right proportions, the right positioning, because maybe this is something that should be done mesh wise individually. It seems that I'm able to get some approximation here though. So this could be the beginning, right, of work. Yeah, so that will leave me with some decisions of on the mesh and the skeleton. Where should I push things? So I will try to favor some more critical parts like the chin, which are somewhat easier to manipulate, to keep in place. So there is this. Okay, if I scale these up a little more. I'm really confused now, what should I do? But I know that, okay, so if I scale up, I can match the foot. Alright, so at least this. The head is certainly not matching. Yeah, so I should perhaps focus the head, right? So where the head starts there, and where the chin ends, so scale down to get this proportion, this generic proportion, right? That should be the best thing to do, even if that will mean that well, maybe, yeah, so we lose a lot of. I want to see also the side view here. So scaling down. Alright, so this seems does not so bad in the end. Alright. Yeah, so I have this, so this didn't change scale, so just that, and I will have to okay, let's make a new version. I don't know why the scales got wrong in some directions. This is not, I think this is not, yeah, probably accidentally Yeah, so I don't understand what this applying scale does. I think the applying scale to the armature is then making change to the objects themselves. Let's try this. Yeah, to all of the objects apparently. It sort of adapts. So here let's try to, because I don't know which is the correct one, so let's just get everything equal here, right? So there's no distortion. So conforming to the z-axis, which is what I was trying to match. All right. So apparently I have, in the end, I had scaled down the armature. So now I'm going to hide the armature, and there are some objects that I can ignore. And I think I will do object by object on the mesh, because at this point, so the hair I can ignore because it's easier to replace. Cloth also leave for later, or I could do this. No, I cannot do this with the mesh of the body. So there's the body, there's the eyes. Well, the eyes I'm gonna remake, so this is not like that important, although it wouldn't be bad if I could get them at least at some I could use this as reference for other shapes for the new eye, so it's not good that I did any deletion on that. So here for the eyebrows, of course, I have to manipulate the mesh of the head of the body. So yeah, this is the eyes. Yeah, definitely should be done in the end, but let's at least skip these ones. Yeah, lots of the eyes here are distorted, so let's not make them selected, but maybe I need them if I want to change the shape of the eye here, because there are some snapping feature. The eyelids are mesh, these vertices, they need to snap to the surface of the eye, so the position of that is very important. And I might have to be, so that should be a later thing, much later. So the main thing here, yeah, this might look extremely confusing. Oh, and also I have the subdivision surface, which won't help at all at this point. Will create major confusion here, but at the same time I need to make up my mind about it. Okay, so this one of the mouth, okay, cloth not using. Mouth, this is secondary, tertiary, and mouth interior also at this point would be secondary or even tertiary. So mouth is not relevant. The interior parts of the mouth are so it's basically the body. So we're back with the body and the, yeah, so that's it. Back to the basics here, and a lot of things here should be flat, maybe. Yeah, this is easier perhaps to. Okay, so you can see clearer here. I'm not sure about the proportional editing thing. Not proportional editing. the subdivision, it seems to be causing a lot of problems here. So there are a lot of distortions here. All right, let's start this thing. So there are a lot of reshapings here that will need readaptation. So that's probably, yeah, there's no way to avoid this at this point, because the shapes have changed massively. So no, not massively, I'm exaggerating, but there are huge changes to those in minute aspects of the body, of the anatomy, of the style adapted to 3D. So I need to try to figure out. I was expecting something a bit more direct here, but then I totally forgot that indeed the changes were too massive in here and there. So I will have to, some parts will be much simpler and some others will be a bit more complicated. So this part here is somewhat okay. Here, why not? It would be nice if I could. So here, this part, let's get this ear. Strangely, the ear here on the old design is very... Here I'm moving the eyelids mesh, which is not a good idea, so let's already have a solution for that. So material, I can hide these faces. No, actually hide these vertices. This also hide the eyelashes. And what is that behind? Oh, this is very distorted. What is... There's something behind, doesn't matter. So another structure. So this will allow me to manipulate this mesh without affecting directly the eyelids meshes. So yeah, eyelids mesh. So it's a one whole group. Here I'll be needing to compare those things in the end, so because maybe this is not good, these are not that great chance here for the 3D model, but we're gonna take risks to check. Yeah, and so a lot of things there that will need some smoothing. Yeah, so the ear, this is very annoying because there are too many subdivisions there for details, something that I didn't often had. It will be a last stage, so it's not simplified in a way that is, now it will be helpful in the opposite way. Now this is bad. Yeah, so that is more time, it's consuming more time than it should. But at least it's not like I ain't going anywhere. It's just, if I could find out where to simplify those stuff. There are even some things here that seem to be wrong. No, it's just the way the mesh is. No, yes, there is something wrong there in those subdivisions, I guess. Something that I forgot to merge, I guess. This will create some issue probably, because I'll have to something about the topology there that I'm just messing up. It was already messed up actually. So let's see, this face loop, then this face loop around the ear, then this face loop here also around the ear. No, this seems to be correct. This face loop, okay, around here, this crossing ending there in this trigon, and then here. Alright, now it was incomplete, or I guess, so this seems to be the new. Okay, let's save here. So I just fixed something that was incomplete till now, or some lazy adjustments at some point that messed up some of the mesh there. Alright, so let's see the ear, which is still bad. So let's try to make this faster here. Looks like I might need another subdivision here, because this is, it doesn't seem to be working. For these new shapes. So let's try this. It's like I'm making the ear larger this time, bigger. So as for a back view, let's redistribute some of this. I'm seeing some extra faces there that also could be merged here. Can't hurt too much. Yeah, it's the same pattern that happened before on the other part. So just some, maybe it was not wrong, it was just not very, just, yeah, I think confusing it was. So better delete. I don't think it served any particularly good purpose, or I mean, it probably could be better than, there probably is a better solution. Whatever functionality it was trying to cover, there's probably better alternative. I'll look at that thing later on. Alright, this seems okay for that part. No, there are some shapes there that I need to yeah, there are many problems. I don't know how I'm gonna get this shape right. Some in this new approach here for this year. Alright, so let's leave the year. Maybe the model sheet was incorrect to try to push that so below. Here we also got some problems. Yeah, this is really not the most interesting part actually, and very difficult also because yeah, there are a lot of shapes here. I should hide some mesh and do all this stuff later, right? Sometimes it's easier to even remodel from scratch than. So what I can do for now is just try to hide the ears for a moment. I can probably try to complete that later. Yes, it will be a good idea to try to. So that I need the side. It's very hard to look at it right now, but we can start to see that I need to expand this the skull here to the sides, and ignoring which was the ignoring some of the original position of this hole, ear hole, if you can say like that. The grease pencil is a bit too sharp here, and it's sort of making it difficult to visualize the mesh. I can change the opacity of this of the wireframe. The grease pencil is recognized as wireframe also. Interesting. Alright, isn't there any other stuff here? No. Yeah, apparently not. So I know that the grease pencil, I'll have to do that one by one, which is annoying, but at least I know which are the layers. So yes, maybe I should reduce some opacities here. So this is the front, this is the side strokes of the head only, and this is the side strokes of the whole body, right? Yeah, so why I'm having this look, of course this is the material, no, not the material, sorry, this is the, I'm having this strange look because this is not the material viewport shading, and yeah, so That was the wait, white is different now. Oh, okay, the wireframe appears also. I see. This it was about the wireframe. This thing here. This affects the grease pencil. That's why this strange look on the grease. So that. All right. So it doesn't happen, however, if I am on this shading. But I need the lights, and I'll need. I don't think I have much options here to camera. Yeah, this camera is the compositor thing, but it sort of helps. At least I have some extra lighting maybe. Yeah, it's all difficult. So maybe this is better, but it's also less contrast. Its stuff gets a bit strange. It's still not good, but yeah, okay, let's leave this. Shapes seems very strange though, but we'll slowly try to fix that. Okay, let's try here. Yeah, this will be very, very hard. There are too many things going on. There's a great risk to destroy a lot of good shapes on the original model, but I don't think there's another way to solve that. If I want to preserve all this process, I will need to reshape every little detail here. So it's that little work of geometry, repositioning. I could probably use some sculpting and whatever, relax, mesh, whatever. So there are many tools that. So I think I'm just start focusing just on, instead of doing exactly everything there, what I'm gonna focus on the generic positionings, right? Yeah, that seems to be better. So I'll focus on generic positionings of fundamental mesh instances, proportions, right? And then for smaller details, I'm just gonna so this shape, let's place it here. Yeah, somewhere here. So this is why I marked that thing, that pointy part there of the here. I don't have much ways to manipulate that, but let's try like that. Yeah, and then for the other details, I don't know if that would be good in the end, but it doesn't matter. I'm just, so reposition. Here's a good opportunity to try to reposition the eye holes. Yeah, they are very wrong in this. No, that they are not very wrong. Actually, it's just hard to visualize. I think I'm seeing it. yeah, this pushing out, yeah, that part will take a lot of time later to fix. I see the curve there. If I augment this, I think, where's the grease pencil? Yeah, to be fair, this is a nightmare. But I'm ready for that because so I probably shouldn't be streaming this, uh, but I'm just gonna make the generic stuff here, right folks, so don't worry. Then I'll do my homework of all those things. It's like it's funny, right, to fix stuff in some sense, but it cannot take forever, right? It's a few sessions of doing homework myself, I can solve all these things. Uh, the main thing, however, is that I need those proportional. So we'll focus on here, as I've mentioned. The eyes are half closed here on purpose because this is a rigging strategy for the shapes of the stylized eyes. And I have a new proposal for that. So in the end, probably won't be this idea here. So I just needed here to get this one. Let's reinforce this. Now this is the side view, right? So it's actually this one. Okay. Yeah, so here we see this very strong. And so now with the proportional editing, yes, let's get these positions more correct here. And this is a totally orthographic frontal view, so it's very much the same as it's the same of the model sheet. What is this? I think this is the head behind. Yeah, it's a bad, dangerous manipulation to be doing this with the wireframe, with the ghost thing. So here, why don't I have more subdivisions there by nature? I'm not sure. Simplifications, but here, yeah, here, lot of. Where is the? Okay, it's probably something like that. Yeah, not sure which orientations with this small amount of mesh here, of geometry here, I should be using. But here, let's see. Let's hide the mesh for a moment. Okay, is that I have a wrong curve there. A curve that is a bit strange. So that's why it's not matching very well. So here, that seems fine. Okay, so for this surrounding mesh, this seems to be fine. If yeah, so here I'm not gonna mess with that mesh here, although it will be good to fix. That will take too much time right now. So of course there's some mesh here that I should redistribute better later. I think I should do that with, there are some cool sculpting tools that can probably help in here. I'm just not used to some relax mesh, relax geometry, something like that. I should probably get used to those things because they are very handy. So but I'm not gonna do this now because I have no idea. They can mess up my project, so because I don't know how to use them properly. So I just gonna avoid that for now, but I'll try to learn them on my homework session. That is probably unavoidable. So here, let's go for the more interesting part, right folks? Yes, finally. So I think the head, yeah, okay, now there's the side of the head. Okay, this will be very important. So let's go here and let's push this stuff here. So this is the extremity. Let's do here. We can push here too. What about this? This could be centralized. We can push this there. All right, this good. So those things, right? The main shapes, they should be right. So here we can make some more changes here. The tip of the nose, push this there. This, let's change the positioning here, get all those shapes here, push this inwards, I guess. Maybe here we'll need some mesh, extra geometry, or just no. There will be the subdivision surface modifier which can help here anyways, but some redistribution of mesh here could be useful. Smooth this out, maybe turn on proportional. It was already on. Turn on this and this thing is wrong, so let's change. Definitively let's change how this is. So I need to push this. I have the mouth here, but there's no lips developed in terms of shape. This will be something to go as part of a different strategy for mouth rigging that relies on shape key to shape literally the skin of the lips, right? To shape the lips anatomy. So otherwise the lips is not by default is straight, like it's just all simplified mesh, so that it deforms more regularly for cartoonistic expressions, which require a lot of strange shapes, expressive shapes, and so this is something, a different approach. So I'll morph the, it's not that I'm using corrective shape keys in the sense that I'll make facial expressions, no, the shape key there is just to form the anatomy of the lips, a more sophisticated anatomy. And here probably I'll have to reshape. No, I'm not gonna make this mouth shape because this is already an expressive one. It was made that way so that it will be in the drawing, although just to me to have a better idea of what the right positioning of the lips, the mouth, but it's not what I need for the rest position, which will have a more neutral mouth expression. So here the only thing that I need is to get this part here, which is the sort of corresponding to the muzzle of the character. I need to find where is this place here, which is gonna be the mesh that will, it doesn't need to be one vertex that reaches that frontal part, but if it is, that's not bad. Here I don't think I need to shape this right now, so yeah, I'm just gonna pay attention to those major features here. So the tip of the nose, you see there's some curving there. I need to at least try to respect these shapes, and that will be difficult with all these messed up stuff that is going on, but we're gonna try to get this as good as possible for the current conditions, so that later I can get these bases. Anyways, of course I'll keep the model sheet, so there's no problem. I can fix that anytime. So okay, that's fine. Then let's go for this chin part, which can be challenging also. Probably here I need, so I'm gonna push this forward, make this more verticalized, because the last one maybe it was a little bad in that sense. These changes here can make, they are sort of risky, because okay, I'm just changing on the plane here the vertices, so this is not that dramatical. But if I look here now from a front view, yes, nothing is really looking terrible here, but there can be some disruptions there. I need to be fixing this, especially now if I look from below. Let's see if there's any, yeah, there are many things that can go crazy here. So we see there are some shapes here that don't seem to be very coherent, and I'm not sure right now what. I have a jawline here. No, this is not a jawline. This is this thing here. No, it's not this thing. It's this one. So this jawline is very inept right now. I need to make it straighter. Something that. So I need to make sure that this is exactly the jawline and it's matching. So why do I have two drawings there? It's probably because I did a small I have here to, this one is the old, not the old one, but there is one that is for the body, this is for the head, so this is stronger. So this is not the important, this one is not the important one, but this one is only for the head, so we don't have for the rest of the body, so it's just for the head. Then as we go for the head, we need to, yeah, so we need just to ignore more of this stuff, and then it starts to be more useful at this part. So I'm gonna, and then this should be enough for me to get the ideas. Yeah, I don't need all, I can get some opacity, half opacity like that. Alright, so now here there will be lots of deformities or mesh chaos here, geometry chaos, but can probably arrange this. Okay, so here it looks like that the neck here is very strange. I don't know what's happening here on her back. I'm afraid if I make changes here, that will make huge complications in the current shapes of the body, which are not bad actually. The shapes, most of the shapes are fine, despite the proportion are not ideal. Okay, so that's expected. So I have had a hard work of making those shapes well for the whole body, and now I risk to lose some of this progress due to this rearrangement. But thanks to proportional editing, we'll try to avoid too many losses. Of course, some things will gonna change, so it's like inevitable. Here certainly there are things that are very bad here. What's happening here? I need to keep pushing maybe the neck back. I don't know why. Something here doesn't seem right in the proportions of the last ones for the neck. So this one seems to be exaggerated, while these ones seem to be a little better. So there's something here that the excessive, lack of amount of geometry here, and of course also something that is not helping at all is that of course I need to take everything here and okay, where is the okay, we have X-ray on. I'll pick everything. I'll make sure that okay, let's unhide all the mesh. Yes, why not? So at this point then select with X-ray everything of the arm here, more this. Let's also expand from here and let's push this down. Let's also pick all these, and why not maybe all this. Let's push this up. Maybe we already have proportional editing, so I probably can avoid, I can fix these ones later. I should have done this in the very beginning, so now I have to distorting stuff. Let's see if I can here with proportional editing make some fixes here. Maybe here, yeah, the 3D shapes are not bad on their own, but then I'll have to make them conform a little more to the new model sheet, so nothing I can do about it. Unless I found out that the model sheet is very bad on another part, but probably, yeah, the hand is not relevant. I didn't make too much effort in the model sheet, as you can see, so maybe just for the proportions. No, not even for the proportions, so it's just junk for just some positional reference, so I don't need to take care about it. So here, yeah, so I'll fix that, but the position later, but the positioning seems to be fine now, at least from more or less fine. There are still a lot of problems, but here some shapes that seem to be no proportional editing. Yeah, not why it's not on. All right, let's work here. Let's yeah, proportional editing can be very, very good. Sometimes it's a great solution. So here maybe I should push these things back. Yes. My soundtrack has ended. Sorry folks, let's just get it back. Save here. There's this. No, it didn't stop. It's just some stupid YouTube. Actually, it was this one. Alright, and this. There we go. Sorry folks. Okay, let's go back here. These, I think, rescale on the. No, it's not. It looks strange if it's not. Oh, I'm looking at two model sheets. I guess. No, I'm not. So why? Yeah, it used two colors for the same. Okay, so this is a little confusion happening there. Then because I've duplicated the other one and I didn't fix it. So here is see some problems here on the texture, but it's a texture thing. This is not a mod mesh thing. UV texture thing, something that needed to be fixed. So here this will be a bit hard because even in the original this part of the anatomy wasn't very well set in terms of geometry. Here I tried to make something that would relate to the perhaps the shape of the external cladomastoid, this muscle tendon structure here, right? So this, at least this can be a good idea here, but it's not very clear here. I would need to use some more material stuff like this to differentiate colors and make this better. So currently it's not that useful, but I can reshape the neck here. Looks like some extra subdivision there wouldn't hurt, but I'm not gonna do that now. This can create some issues for wave painting for the rig. Yeah, changing the mesh topology after rigging, it can cause some, it has limitations. You'll have sometimes to, it can create some very weird odd effects. So it's not ideal to do that. So I will have to, no, I've already made most change to mesh topology. So if I did anything more, it will be to make some more clear color bone structure here, because this character currently doesn't have, I have the model sheet here now, so I can use this as a reference to make this that if I want. And I probably want to create this kind of extra, this is the back of the character. So here I will need to push this, yeah, so where starts the shoulder, where starts the trapezium, where the so this is a mess right now. We're gonna try to fix this, not too complicated, it's just that probably here I could create extra geometry to be able to adjust those shapes the way they really need. So the mesh geometry for the mesh topology for the shoulders was very well thought for this character, but now the shapes are very compromised, so we don't see too much the value of the mesh topology. But this is something I should recover at some with more refinements. And so any change that I make on the mesh geometry for the collarbone, that's something that I was telling that I was interested to work on as a additional detail, right? It seems that it can help the character design because it's partially there's some organicity to this character in 3D, so in 2D and in 3D. So yeah, so a bit more mesh geometry there, and probably so it wouldn't interfect it wouldn't interfere too much it doesn't interfere too much with the shoulder directly. It can make some crossings, but I believe I can work that more locally without a lot of that means I probably won't have to make too many radical changes to the way the mesh topology of the shoulders was developed. So, or maybe I'm wrong, but I'll try to preserve what I have for the neck, the shoulder, and then okay, now this is better. Let's try to work better these shapes for the deltoid. This probably should, yeah, so probably more mesh geometry there would be relevant to get the final adjustments. Should check some faces here are very bad, are too big, badly placed. Let's make some smoothing here. Yeah, this this I don't have a top view model sheet, so here I really rely on further investigations on the 3D. This structure I've made like to for tests. If that works for the deforms, apparently it wasn't causing too much of, so there's a way to control the armpit hole to have better control over it. So just a mesh proposition, a mesh topology proposition that can interact to some extent with the rig. And the fact that these loops here, they get away from the joint region, this makes that should make that this is not grave. Alright, so now let's continue here. I've sort of solved the this looks very weird from the top. Okay, let's try some. What is this? Oh, this is on the arm. Never mind. Oh, I can pick the... okay. Alright, so here let's continue. Okay, so we're going down the torso. Smooth out usually helps. Alright, and here let's smooth out this, maybe this one too. All right. Okay, so this part I know I have a lot of work to do because there are some it's difficult to get the okay, so yeah, so big change here. Need to change all of this of positioning. This can really create some disruption on some, can make things pretty confusing. After when I try to reassess what happened to the some key elements of the body, right? That for example, now these loops here, they look very poor in terms of positioning on the back. Yeah, okay, looking from the back, at least this doesn't look too bad. So here I see the line. I know that, yeah, a lot of things here will have to be changed. So I'm gonna pick all that and move down, or actually pick all the lower torso of the character. And where is the navel? Yes, the navel is there. We can, yeah, can do that. Let's look for the feet, the location. Yeah, even more maybe. I'm gonna try to get the knee and sort of rescale them, try to match the positions. Okay, so I'll pick that as the central points of the knee, same as will be that one. Yeah, so I'll try to match. Is that correct? Yes, this is the correct one. So I'll try to place it at the center. We see some displacement here. Let's try to adapt, align, try to align this. Eventually we'll get a better alignment. For now it will be a bit, even the leg, the whole leg might be a bit. Here I can probably work on these shapes. Trying to match. Not sure if I'll have this line to match, so this will be probably completely redone. No, not completely redone, but I mean I probably need some revision here on how these loops are working. They probably are not. It might be even the case to dissolve some of them. The feet seem to be displaced. Let's centralize them, align them to a better effect. Here let's move all this like that, make some rotation. Okay, this seems to be a good alignment, but those lines look terrible. I really wish I could get this thing right, but that will be hard to get. I can try to follow this line here, this will be interesting, but I'm trying to repurpose this stuff on the new model sheet. Let's look for a side view because so here, yes, let's just push everything back here. Can probably work here. Yeah, that is gonna be a lot of adjustments to do, but proportional editing is very useful at that. It's not too difficult. It just takes time to get the more organized mesh. This the more precise this gets, according to the character design, that is good, I think. I think this time it is good. So the best it is in relation to the character design this time, the more here I have some doubts really what should I do, because I don't know if I follow accurately the character design, if that won't be bad for the, have to try out it. So apparently there is, I can make these shapes wider here, so a stronger leg, stronger shin there. But it's not clear if that will work for this character design on the 3D. We're gonna check the center of the foot here. The foot is very complicated. It's like the hand. I don't think there's too many shapes I have to. Yeah, in principle I shouldn't be. Is there an ankle? Yes, there is. There's. I think that's this shape here, just like that. So it's very bad here. That will take a lot of time, I think, to readdress. If I look from the front of the foot, so what I can try to do is just to perhaps try to expand these shapes like that. Fat foot. But that might be the way to go. Let's hide some of, let's scale this up. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be enough. Let's try this and this and this. Same here. Yeah, so it's getting scaled somewhat in some way, but it's not. Yeah, gradually maybe I start to get something that can work here. A lot of foreshortening here, so this is very hard. Starting to get the idea. Let's try to push this to the side here. Chubby toes. And here push this down. try to keep this aligned with the floor. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense. What did, what did, what did I do? No. All right, so just some slightly adjustments here. Um, the foot survived, but it is suffering. It will need some more retakes, right? Geometry retakes here. But the topology, I think it's, except perhaps I could improve the topology of the, why it looks so bad? What's happening here that I do not see? There are too many. Yeah, it's here, of course. It's on the top. Yes, all this alignment is, yeah, I'll need like to, yeah, all the top, it got sort of compressed. It, yeah, a lot of deformities here, and of course the side, everything. As I expanded the toes to the side, that these other parts, they didn't get the same growth sideways, and then this became very bizarre. Same for the, something about the ankle, this lower part here, which I think maybe I can scale this, push down, smooth. I can probably smooth that. No, maybe not a good idea. There are some face loops there that are maybe not great, all great propositions. Yeah, so maybe I'll have to redo something about the ankle mesh geometry, mesh topology, I mean, sorry. No, this is for the, no, this is for the back, right? So we need a side view here. Yeah, more geometry there for the back. Otherwise this thing will never be able to work. Yeah, so the mesh topology of the foot is not perfect here. There are some slight things that need more attention. Here I was experimenting with this thing in the front, but I could never be sure if this is a good idea, because this on the joint can be problematic. I tried to get it away from the joint, but apparently, yeah, there's a great chance that this is not good enough. So, but it's not difficult to reshape that thing. So if I know what I need. So anyways, for the most part of the foot I was satisfied though. And so here I have this, where's the gizmo for smoothing here? Yeah, it's there. All right, apparently I've got some, okay, other selection. Let's scale it up from here. Then let's look at the side view. Let's push this, yes, push it here. All right, then for the back, okay, so this is a line, guideline, but these are the model sheets. So actually these blurry area here is like the inside, so it doesn't count. What I need to follow is that line which is straighter, and I probably will need to smooth something here. I'm not sure what's happening there to the geometry, but what I know is that I'm getting, at least I'm getting the back here of the leg aligned with this thing, so that's okay for now, of course. The shapes here of the leg seems very strange, so let's smooth out some stuff here. Can use many references here to get this right. The gluteus, okay, so all this area here, let's try to reshape that. Got a lot of distortions there. We have the belly, the navel is there. Let's pick this central reference here. It got, okay, so I've displaced things wrongly apparently. So this is the crotch. Okay, let's fix that. Here many shapes that can I've made many changes to this whole to the location of these shapes as I was testing what is best. So as I was making some minute change to proportions and investigation, so here it is likely that I'll have to make some more that I must be making a few more adjustments. So here, yeah, so this part is very important and difficult because there are, on one hand, there are lines here which needs to go down towards the belly, and I don't have the best geometry that would contemplate this if all these effects. I have something that is more or less appropriate, but it might not be enough. Let's see from this view. Make the curve of the belly here. So here we see some curving here. Let's see what we can do about this. That part is very intricated. Even in 2D I'm not totally sure what I want or how I could relate academic drawing, naturalistic drawing to the stylized shapes. So it's a bit of doubt there on what should be best. Like ideally, I know how to draw that, right? But I don't know how to perfect the style regarding what to draw, what to avoid to draw, right? Which anatomical shapes to be more so here there's a problem usually that I have in the model, that I need to make the belly also expand sideways, otherwise it becomes somewhat strange, like too focused on the front, and lack of mass in the side. So this means that usually this should be put forward, because these are actually also bony structures like the rib cage, right? So there are many ways to handle that. So like this, not rib cage, but then if they go forward, they create this gap in this center, which it's very subtle, but it creates some cool anatomy. Here we don't see very well, the lot of things are not contributing for the shading effect, so I'm not gonna bother with that immediately. It was just a small effort in reshaping those things. Here could be that I could use some more geometry, not sure if it is required. The back here I saw many problems of mesh disposition, how the mesh is organized in the back. Yeah, it seems slightly very disorganized actually, the arrangement, and some shapes here in the dark because of the shading. There was a good shape here that I don't know now how to exactly work with that here. So this is like something, this opens up, but it's difficult. There are too many interactions here, and at some point proportional editing here is not good. Let's see, don't I have any other? Yeah, it's a lot of constraints here regarding the shading, so the visualization of stuff, so it's hard to hold on, can I, there's a texture thing. Yeah, no, I can't get this right, exactly what would be ideal. I'll have to rework the shading and whatever, and I just cannot keep this. This is too bad for the grease pencil. I'll need to have a perfect clean one line stroke cleanup if I wanted to use that. So it's a constraint, a restraint that I have for this. So here the shape of the boob is not very good in terms of, yeah, so here will be slightly challenging to get it right, but at least the circular shape should be. And here I can usually see what I can do about this. If there's some expansion of the breast to the sides, very subtle, that can be good, but that can create, if it interacts bad with the rib cage, that becomes very strange in this model. So I need to be very attention not to mess with that. So something So it's like this cannot follow the curve of the, I mean this should not follow the, right, the one thing is the rib cage line, and another thing is the breast. So from this, yeah, so this is a good reference. So from this face loop, or actually from this edge here, edge ring, edge loop, at least regarding the side, it can get some side expansion, or and then it's more a question of smoothing and reorganizing the mesh, and that takes time also to get right. But yeah, so this is important. So I think I need to mark this edge in a way that helps remember. There is nothing here that can freestyle. Everything here will make some, so I just make this mark seam here. It's not correct, it will affect the texturing, but at least it will give me the notion of the, I'll probably have to revise all those seams because I have changed even the mesh topology after I had a texture in this. So why do I have this? Okay, because I was on edit mode. Alright, so here let's look at the model sheet, right? So where's the model sheet? Okay, you can see it. So let's see if that is, if things now are more aligned with the model sheet, if things match, despite all the problems that adjustment created. It certainly made a lot of updates fundamental to the new proposition, model sheet proposition. So this is an improvement, but there are too much stuff wrong, right? Chaotic, unsettled, that should require very slow, not necessarily tedious, but yeah, very attention retakes here and there. Curiously, it looks like I can reshape, okay, let's look at this. Yeah, let's look at this stuff here. Yeah, it's too front, so we need to align this stuff in a way that, so this is mainly a straight line all the way there. So currently we see that it's not very straight, so this is maybe easier if I just, yeah, I don't need to do this now, but yeah, it could be done perhaps this way. So if I get this central line, I have to verify if it's, yeah, it looks more or less straight, so I think it's already working. but I can make some improvements here and there, yes, and we see that it could be slightly more to the front here. What about there? The thumb is exactly in front, so the hand, let's see if I can hide all this. Let's see again. Yeah, this is much better. So here apparently maybe there's some contradiction that I hadn't paid attention when I did this because the height of this point here, yeah, it's not matching, so I need to make a decision. I think this is more relevant, so let's just leave like here. So I need to be aware of this error. It's a very critical, it's a detail, but it's a critical mistake. I don't know how that happened. Okay, I think this one is good and this one is incorrect. So then the rib cage is just like a plate, right? So on, at least on this card, so it just can be sort of smoothed out like that. Here it's not bad if I try to adjust that, but then there's too many mesh that we'll need to follow the smoothing out process. And of course then this can be smoothed as well. For some reason now my grease pencil has got this shapes, even though I'm not on the material, I'm on the yes, I'm on the material, so objects. Oh, it's because of the, yeah, because of the wireframe. Alright, so let's see, I saw some spot here of something that needs to be smoothed out. Let's see these lateral shapes. Yeah, looks like that these shapes here are wrong. I need to, there's some, this goes like that. So she's thinner, slimmer here, I think that's how you say, slender, and then here there's some shapes that are a bit blurry. Yes, so this is important. The hips, something about the hips here that needs some reinvestigation. I have some mapped positionings, I remember, but I don't have them in here. I think this is a detail that I've made on paper. I should check that at some point and verify where. So it's two bones, so it's the top of the hips and somewhere, so it's somewhere here and then somewhere here, maybe, yeah, at least 2 points of interest. So I'm got not, because this is and to be fair, in many character designs, wherever we put them, if they are more or less and that can be rendered the work beautiful. So it's not like it can nearly go anywhere. It makes sense because it's stylized, right? We automatically associate with the shape, with the shapes that we might know by heart, or that we just intuitively know they should exist, but even though they are incorrect in stylized, they still can look beautiful wrongly, especially when wrongly set. That's the reason why we make stylized drawing, right? Stylized art. We by doing, and some wrong positionings, wrong proportion, wrong, some unrealistic stuff that are made on purpose. Sometimes they are developed accidentally, and that's interesting, right? Some accidents are actually happy accidents, just as the happy clouds of Bob Ross, the oil painter teacher, famous. And so, yes, folks, so here I think that was a major reset, right, of this model. Not far from completed, but at least here would be nice to have some more geometry, right? Some shapes here maybe require a different approach. So saving here, I'm just changing but this was just the body, right? Let's see what we have for clothes. Yeah, so clothes, they got displaced. There's a lot of work to do. Yeah. Then I have clothes for sci-fi, clothes for fantasy. Where are them? Yeah, here. So those are not completed, but yeah, so I'll have to. Some of these clothes, they are just like, I just have to reduplicate the, yeah, I could use the snap, but it's not so precise regarding rigging. I just, if it's the case they are not have a very complex, if basically for skin tight clothing that don't require leggings, like in this case, they don't contain any other mesh besides the skin tight thing, I just remake them from scratch, rejoin on the new one, so that's easy stuff. But for whichever other, I have to make some finer readjustments. So these clothes are more complete, but they are not necessarily better. Some yeah, so I'll have to do that manually. So cloths, right? Then there are some. So the hair were already repositioned, right, automatically, but now they'll have to make some also minor adjustments. The scalp, which has a mirror modifier, while these ones are hair strands that are made individually. So here, just that you know, they contain, these are not curved objects, they weren't made with curved objects, they are just mesh, very simple mesh objects using subdivision surface modifier at a very low level, by using creases, and then I set creases to some of them, you see them in blue here, like, so these creases will guarantee that they get these cool shapes, dynamic shapes, with very few without the subdivision surface modifier, it's like that. But with this subdivision surface modifier with the creases, it's very easy to shape very cool stuff, both angular and curvy. If I took off the use crease, that will become very bad, right? So that's an in-between solution, very dynamic. But this is easy for the hair. However, for the rest of the body, now I'm having trouble with that because there are too many shapes to solve without the subdivision surface. As soon as I turn on the subdivision surface modifier for all the body, I probably will be losing a lot of good shapes that are fundamental. So I could be trying to keep that, and then there are places here I wouldn't know where to put creases because it's all curvier here for the rest of the body. Maybe not the knees and some special areas, but I don't know how to use creases for everywhere. Just some crucial parts that are more angular, like here and the tip of the nose, someplace, right? But for here, this is probably not, I don't know. I could make some tests, right? And so if I turn on this, let's say, but that will create some very bizarre angle there. But let's try, for example, for this one to make some crease of 0.5. So the crease is there. On the side, we don't see. Yeah, it's making some effect, but it's not. It will need to be 1 actually to be able to correspond to exactly Shift E1. Yes, to the still gets smoothed out because of the other but it doesn't seem to be becoming angular, so maybe that's a solution. So maybe I have that for that part, then another for the inner part, which here is not clear, which would be let's see here, this crosses, yeah, this is, maybe it's this one, yeah, maybe that should be the center one after all. Not sure, folks, but anyways, let's try. However, this is not the one that I've used for that side thing, right? So I don't know counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's probably that one. So just from here to here, yeah, there's even a, okay, so Shift E of 1, and if I turn, yeah, so that sort of helps. Unexpected. I don't know if this can create some strange results though in some poses, because but it wasn't for, you'll notice that I have here some creases. So I did some time ago when I was exactly reserved. Let's hide it here. Here you see for this actually just here So there's this crossing here, also the jawline, and then this shape here. And I thought I had some other things there, but no, I don't. So this is just creating, this should be helping creating this, the point here, this point here, and this creating this, also contributing to create this. So if you see like that, it's nearly sort of pointy, and that was working. Maybe now not so well because I've made too many distortions here, but it's still somewhat working. And if I turn off the crease effect on the crease option for this subdivision surface modifier, okay, we need to be on object mode. Yeah, we don't see much things here, so, but there is some change. There is some usefulness for this, and this is a safe. It's tedious to do, but I see I have creases here, so this makes a lot of impact indeed. I need to revise all those crease points of interest, and then I can probably be using, yes, so I totally forgot about that. So I can really use the creases here to help shape this, even while maintaining the subdivision surface modifier. So I forgot that those creases could be used exactly for shapes like the ears. So now it's confusing because I'm looking at the creases at the same time as the seams, but there is a way to solve that, folks. Temporarily we can just decide which we want to be looking at. So for example, I think it's here. Where is the lines? Light colors, no, where is, I know it's somewhere here, folks. Attribute text, view node. I think it must be on edit mode. Yeah, so here. No, not that. But here, no, it's here. No. Somewhere that should appear the options, right? The crease, the maybe it's here. Oh, it's here. Okay, so this just appears on edit mode apparently, and here, so faces, I don't know what's that, but creases, sharp, seams, and bevel. Okay, I'm not using bevels, but I'm using seams. So here, now I'm just looking at the creases, so I can totally work on them. And okay, so that would be the way to go on this. We see that they are still okay, this happened because now I have to, yeah, I have to make up my mind about the creases, because the shoulders don't have creases. I probably would need crease here for this collarbone, which still doesn't have a geometry for it. So by right now it's turned on the subdivision surface modifier. So all the stuff that I've made will have to be sort of readapted Alright, this keeps happening, right? So it's really about getting those creases. So maybe here it's a good spot because this is a line, a very important line that separates like the shoulder from the arm in some sense, right? So if I get this right, I assume these points should be matching, right? But it doesn't seem to be. Okay, let's see. No. Unfortunately, but then maybe maybe here then. Let's see, there is a shoulder here. Yes, this is a line around the shoulder. Let's try to. Nah, this seems very bad. So let's cut this off. One. Really not sure. I don't have a lot of confidence in this thing. Yes. Maybe that helps. With this amount of geometry, this is probably gonna be very, very bad. Okay, let's maybe this. This is like I'm trying to. Wait, this shape, is this regular? Oh yeah, there's a central line which is completely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5, but no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe there's something wrong about this shoulder. Because these are the two on the top of the arm. Okay, they go in the center, but then yeah, it's clear something seems to be I should check that again later, but or maybe it's just this that I'm counting wrongly regarding the way where I put this. It should be somewhat symmetric in that regard, but what I can do here, let's try it again despite this. So it's clear that playing with the crease can make huge difference to the, in case we are using the it's a complete game changer, but it's not like super intuitive to work with, so it needs to be well thought, and there are some principles that I lack. Some I have, some others I let's try here because it's on the edge, right? So it's not like it's like I'm making a wireframe of those things, and suddenly they start to no. So they just don't start to work anyhow, right? Like you see, this is not. And maybe if I get this, what about now? Oh, now they, okay, so as I've made a complete wireframe of this stuff, then it's like the face gets very conforming to the original shape. So this is, as a principle, it wasn't very clear to me, as you can, I hope you get the idea now. It's not super intuitive, but that's a good thing. So if I get, so I can totally get everything wireframed with this at 1, for example, and still get valid shapes for the, it will not ruin the model. It's not like it will become weird. Actually, this will preserve as much as of the original. So it's a wireframe of preservation, and just as something that can go here. So very interesting. So okay, all right. But does that mean I should have this everywhere in the body? No, just where I need more strict detailments. Yes. So this can be played, so you can probably add this with on faces directly. So is I really don't know exactly how to use this yet to best effect. Maybe it could be useful here. Let's see what happens here. I don't think this is a good idea. So it's just random, but at least maybe around the nostril like this can be good. Here on this part that is not actually, it's not, where does this go? This should go behind the ear, but actually it's going, yeah, it's going in other direction. So this could be reworked. We barely see anything here, so it doesn't matter. For now I could perhaps just do this, just some indications anyways, it's not for anything else. Although it will mark some, that these shapes will maintain, yeah, they'll keep, these shapes will be maintained more than whichever other vertices which doesn't contain these elements, the crease. Alright folks, so in conclusion for this stream here, yeah, there's some eyebrows that now, do I have the condition to, yeah, they need to be replaced on snap on the face to start with. If I check everything here, so here, okay, let's look at the character, like so. Let's take an overview here. So the character seems to be okay, most shapes according to the, yeah, except that here same problem with the very annoying way the thing behaves, right? something about the foot here that yeah, something about the drawing here. I think there's just something bad about the drawing, that this goes forwards too much. But otherwise that's more or less this, right? Yeah, certainly a lot of reshaping here to do anyways, but we got more or less the essentials. The shapes, yeah, the spine seems to be more or less adequate. The spine is very important, and it's already more or less fixed. The rib cage seems to be fine. The arms, the legs, the head. Yeah, don't have model shift for the here. The ears seems to be more or less correct. So mostly everything is correct, is accurate. So yes, we have precision. We just don't have ideal detailments here. But let's now check. Finally, let's hide this grease pencil for a moment and see. Yeah, we'll not get great results for the whole model, right? Because there are some distortions and all those ugly things happening. But shape seems quite good. Not too different. Well, not too different than. I see what's happening here. So yeah, because I've pushed that forward, then I need to readjust that, conform that part. So it, to my experience, this muzzle shape usually require me to push this cheek forwards, this cheeks forwards. This is not a wrong thing to do, but I can do. Yeah, I'm doing somewhat blindly. I should do this with the model sheet and taking care of it, but this is clear that it should be done and at some point. So because it was very bad there. Here is still, the mouth is retracting too much, so there are many things to. It's strange, but it's yeah, no, it's not like that, right? It needs a bit more adjustments there. Let's just smooth this out. Maybe it gets rid of some distortions of shading, but certainly there are a lot of stuff to fix here. Some shapes here that are very bad. This angular stuff here, let's try to smooth this out. Yeah, there's still a lot of this. Actually, this is, we need a different angle here. Some shapes here. Yeah, there's really need something like that, but not the way it is. So it's need to be resolved. Maybe it's about the positioning of the eye. Yeah, I'll have to reassess all that. So maybe yes, this is something I haven't touched, but all this, actually the eyes should be bigger. They should sort of match this positioning. So that'll be, I guess. This I'm doing is insufficient, but I think this is, yeah, I just can't see right now what is the correct thing, but I believe this will be correct positioning of the eyelid. So the eye hole is there, and as for here, well, I totally need the, yeah, no, this goes to, yeah, this is very badly located. Yeah, I need to have space for the eyes, for the eyelids. So that was very bad mistake. Here I don't see for these parts here, but let's keep moving that up anyways, because it's, yes, the eyelids I'll fix later anyway. So we can see that the shapes seem to be working fine. The model is not ugly, she's fine. Not better shaped as she was before the change, because they was already refined, even though the proportions were different. But I think this is working, folks. So the major adjustments were done. The scales here of the object are correct, but I have the issue with the armature, and this I just don't know what to do, because as soon as I apply this, I will have some, well, not chaotical change actually. Oh, now these objects all got alright, so how to solve this? I need to match the okay, I've just got an idea maybe. Okay, let's select all except for the grease pencil. Invert, no, select all, get this, invert, no, let's copy this value here, invert, no, select all, deselect this, okay, then, yeah, this is not all the objects unfortunately, so let's just try with that one. Then I shift click this, then I hold this and make this value, and alt enter. So now they got changed and they have all the same scale at this. They got slightly reduced. We can compare with the grease pencil, but then I get all the selections except for the grease pencil. Yeah, I think the grease pencil is not selectable, so that's fine. So I can still see it. Let's see if it will return to normal, and then apply the scales. Alright, so I get all the scales applied, but I've lost the, so however, if I scale up just to an extra 1.000 1.005, which is the inverse. Alright, but that will return to the same condition, right? Apply scale, and now these objects get, oh great. So I can't find a fixing solution for that with those object manipulations, which is totally bizarre. I just want to match. So either one of them should maintain wrong. So yeah, my last idea would just to like disconnect the armature from the objects and then just wait. The let's go back here. I had a last idea here. Okay, so this needs to be if I select all these and move them. Okay, what if I apply this? The objects get the same scale, they got scaled down. However, if I scale the objects up, (1.005) Alt, they are scaled down, but then I can apply this. Oh, this suffers the scale down, the scale up. Can't be. Oh, because I had it selected actually. So here, let's scale this up 0.005, right? And apply. That makes them 1, but they were scaled up, and this one now I can, so there will be a compensation, but then this, alright, yeah, they'll be playing cat and mouse unless I apply everything simultaneously. So there is some ultimate way. It's just that I need, if I have to, okay, let's try that. Let's select everything because I don't care about. Yeah, let's select everything, doesn't matter. I'm extremely tired of those things. So everything selected, all the objects, yes, except the original, which doesn't matter. So you get that. I'm gonna save, and so if I apply all those scales, what goes wrong? Really nothing. This is already wrong anyway, so apparently the positioning of the model sheet seems to be right in regarding the, yeah, the mesh didn't change anything, seems cool. And the clothes, I just haven't touched anything about it, so let's check. This is scale that, all the things other have scale 1, so that's great. So now that this has been fixed, let's make sure I lock the scale of everything so I don't mess up anymore. And I don't know about all the other things, if I should start just making sure everything is reset accordingly. So yeah, well, this I know, the scale I think is alright, but I'm not sure about the rotation, so let's unlock all those things. And I know some other certain objects have got some extra W rotation, which I'm not sure which are. Maybe the yeah, never mind. So I think I fixed this. So I don't know how exactly. It's just a multiple applying scales to everything at the same time, all the objects simultaneously, armature and mesh objects, even though they were interdependent, actually mesh dependent on scale, and then even if that created some distortions, those distortions weren't weren't really disrupting the new proportions significantly. So that solved one of the technical issues that I was having, and now basically I need to do my homework and yeah, a lot of things to revise here, but I'm glad that finally this was a reshaping, right, of the, so I've totally readapt the model to the new model sheet in terms of generic proportions. That took a while. But the hardest thing actually, what I'm doing here is really just more mechanic, right? It's just some no-brainer thing, right? Usually, so the most difficult part was actually to get the model sheet on this new solution. So that was really the hardest part, while this other homework thing is just time consuming, is annoying, but it's perfectly feasible. It's a question of time, and no big deal, folks. So I think that's it. I'll see what I can do next for showing, but time is coming for me to be able to do a new tutorial, right? I was talking about wiki rigs, not a tutorial series actually. It's a tutorial making approach. Very short tutorial, incredibly short tutorials about rigging that I'm gonna make. I think I'll start tomorrow, which here for me is already Friday, but yeah, I think I'll be starting, and I just needed this character on this new position. I'm starting with something regarding yeah, not with the clothes, but it will be fan bones technique on joints, especially in this case simple joints, to start simple, and then we start to bring up new instances of how to use it. And so I'll be doing a lot of tutorials. I hope new short, very handy tutorials for everyone in rigging in Blender, with all the techniques that I could find out and classify and organize, right? So let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, the tutorial making, and that should start this week. The continuation of this, yes, homework for me. It's not probably gonna show that stuff. Too boring, probably. As if this wasn't boring enough. Something about the mesh, the clothing. Yeah, I don't know what was my next. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope that was useful. Anyhow, this is about character making in 3D, so it's very time consuming, can be very extremely time consuming, and we're making progress. That matters a lot for me in this stuff. I want to make a animation series out of this, and this is the main character. This is why I call a template, because from this character design, so that's why it was very important to get those proportions right. I will make all the other characters of the cast, and then I'll just have to rescale, make some minor change to this template, and then lots of reusing, right? But I still need the main character ready, and she's sort of I just remembered, folks. So this is very cool. I found out that there is just last month there was an update on Blender Wiggle 2 add-on. Hold on, Wiggle Wiggle 2 add-on. So that is for physics on armature, right? Physics on the skeleton, physics for bones. And there is this update. If you install this, it will work apparently perfectly even on Blender. This last version is to download it. Install it by the PI file. You need to download the zip file, but then you need to install not from the zip but from this Python file. And so this Wiggle 2 add-on, this new version, is able to, it doesn't crash on Blender 4.1 and 0.1 in my case, 4.11. So it wasn't the case for a previous version of Wiggle 2 add-on where it was crashing on this newest version in Blender, which has a lot of cool stuff in relation to 4.0 if you have been following. So it was very frustrating because I relied on that Wiggle 2 add-on a lot for hair physics, this cloak physics. It's frozen right now, I think. Hold on. Where is the animation? And now if we install that new version, things are back to normal, even on one of the newest Blender versions out there. The one that, so that encouraged me to finally migrate to this one. I was locked at Blender 4.0.2 because 402 because I relied too much on this physics process, which are very great add-on because of that. But then I wanted also to use the newer Blender versions 4.1, and now I can combine both powers. Yes. So here, so yeah, it's frozen. Let's unfroze this, and so here we see that, yeah, let's also reset physics. Yeah, so I have to readjust this, but in principle the hair at least and the cloak, they were already rigged with this. There are some other features that I need to revise, but usually the cloak and the hair were already, yeah, this is not a, I'm not keyframing animation, but you see what it does. Actually, I also found out that one of the things that can make many add-ons to get sluggerish is precisely the subdivision. I think my Blender is frozen. No, it's not. It's just pause mode. Hold on. It's the. Let's see if that's the case right now. Is the subdivisions? Yeah. Let's turn this off. Yeah. So now the physics are much better. It calculates much better, even in real time. Right? See. Maybe you don't see the difference, but I can feel it's very clear now. And this was just the body, curiously, not the cloaks. The clothes, I think they also have. No, they don't. They don't necessarily have. The hair has, but the hair is just too simple geometry in relation to the body. So yeah, we don't see. Yeah, I can make much tests here. Not very cool. I need the keyframes indeed. But yes, so this is back to work anyways, and it doesn't crash if I bake all the wiggle bones and try to render animation. It was happening on Blender 4.1, and now that was fixed very recently. So very good add-on. to contribute to the author also to keep working on that thing and maintaining, because very cool. I want to contribute in the future. So right now I don't have much possibilities. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope that was interesting, and there are a lot of cool things new to happen exactly on this week regarding this channel. It means a lot for me restarting this tutorial making. And so see you soon, folks, and happy blending. Take care and have a nice weekend, which is approaching also.